Love should be easy. Why should it not?
Are there ever times when interpreting or speaking in Japanese conversation that you don't catch every single word someone says, just bits and pieces? Yeah, but I mean, that happens in English too. And we're just really good at glossing over it. I think the problem is when you're speaking Japanese, you're hyper-focused on everything, right? So let me tell you what I do when I'm interpreting and it happens, because then I'm getting paid to interpret, right? So how do I possibly miss something and move on, right? Well, here's a couple things that I always keep in my mind, right? Number one, the people that I'm interpreting for don't know what they missed, right? So I can rearrange if I have to. If I have to rearrange, I will. Let me show you sort of, this is what I do, right? I sort of wrote the rules out here. I'm just going to go through them one by one. First thing I do is if I get lost while I'm translating, I pause. I stop talking. Right about like that, right? And I make a concerned face, just in case they look at me, right? Make a concerned face. And I listen to what the guy is saying. Because as you know, thoughts don't end in one sentence. They're normally 2 or 3 sentences long. And a lot of times, human beings have this pattern where they restate. They'll say, well, and that's why, like I said before, A plus B always equals C. But of course, in the case of D, it's always A plus C. Like they'll do that, and then they'll restate. So if I have to wait a sentence or two, I pause, I listen, and then I reconstruct. Because I have the ability of taking 3 sentences and combining them into one if I have to. It's easily done. Or I can just say the important part. I could say, だから、さっき言ったように A プラス B イコール C なんです。これが、事実です。Like something like that. But let's say that I totally flub it. I move on. I skip and I move. If I have to, I move. I don't worry about it. Because, you know what? The reality is that the people that are listening, the chances of them listening extremely intently to every single sentence is also limited, right? You know, it's possible they were zoning out anyway, and they weren't even hearing what I was saying to my amazingly crafted sentence, right? If I can't hear what they're saying, I move closer. And in the cases where I can, I ask them to repeat it again. Now, I assume you're not a professional interpreter, so that isn't happening to you. What's happening to you is you're having conversation, and they say something, and you get lost. This is what I would do in your case. Learn this. You know what I realized I need? I need paper, right? I need, right back. This is the most important thing. It's magic. This one sound will help you out. Actually, there's a couple sounds. This is one of them. Actually, I'm gonna give you more than one. Hang on. I'm gonna give you. This is like power Japanese, like simple power Japanese, right? So they're talking, blah 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 blah, and you're like, you hear a word you've never heard before. Let me think of one. That anyone have a big word? I can't think of a big word. Let me think. Kyoryu, for example. I mean, I have no other word. Sorry. Kyoryu, which you all know because that's like a level 1 word, right? You go, eh? Right after they say it. Eh? What? That is what right there. You wouldn't go, nani? Just say, and it will make them stop. And then you could, kyoryu te? Kyoryu te? Kyoryu te? Dinosaur? What's that? Right? Kyoryu means dinosaur, right? If you are having a conversation with somebody, stop the conversation. If it's TV, move on. You know, look up the word, pause, reverse, whatever you got to do. But in a conversation, stop and ask. That's the best thing you can do. And besides, we do it in English. If someone says to you and they're talking and you kind of zone out for a second and you hear dinosaur, you're like, what? Sorry, whoa, hang on. Sorry, I just zoned out. What? Dinosaur? We do this in English, right? And let me think if I can give you a phrase to say you zoned out. I got it. Here we go. I'm going to give you this phrase. Because I know you know a lot of Japanese. Give it to you. This is what you have to say. Because it's okay. It's okay as a human being to zone out. What is it? ちょっとぼーっとしてた。ちょっとぼーっとしてた. I was sort of zoning out. There's another word too, ぼんやり, but I learned that a long time ago. I just don't ever use it. But ちょっとごめんちょっとぼーっとしてた. もう一回言ってくれる? Could you say it again? もう一度言ってください. Any level of politeness that is comfortable for you. I've talked about this before. If you're an extremely polite person in English, well, you probably should be just as polite in Japanese. So you could say, ちょっとすみません. 今全然違うことを考えてました. I was thinking of something totally different. If you're a little bit more casual, ごめんちょっとぼーっとしてた. Sorry, I was just bo is this. That's what you're doing. Like ぼーっとする, right? Okay, that's what you did, right? So that's what I would do. That is my answer. Thank you, man. That's a really good question. I appreciate it.